90.3 Nigeria Info. Yes, Hard Facts continues right about now, and I'm yours truly, Kala Dakuru Batabo. I do have a guest in the studio. I will introduce him shortly, but first let me let you know what the conversation is about this hour. We're looking at waste management in Rivers State, Operation Keep Rivers State Clean, I believe it is, and many other issues we will be talking about. There is the waste to wealth. We'll talk about that as well. And I would also be asking you, the listener, what is your contribution, or what you intend to contribute to keeping the Port Harcourt Metropolis, clean, and allowing the Port Harcourt Metropolis continuing its status as the guardian city. Okay, so there is no other person for such a conversation other than the sole administrator of RIWAMA, the River State Waste Management Agency. I'm talking about Honorable Prince Ohia. It's good to have you in the studio. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Kala.
It's been, several conversations, and I've really hoped to, drag you into the studio, and here you are today.
Yeah, thank you so much for pulling me. I think this is the first time that I'm making a live appearance in any studio in River State.
All right, so let's start with the, Operation Keep Port Harcourt Clean. What is with that, that operation, that move by RIWAMA?
Operation Keep Port Harcourt Clean is coming with an intention to conscientize the people, to build in the mind of the people that consciousness of ensuring that the environment is clean, that consciousness of looking at the enabling laws, establishing RIWAMA, the penalties that are involved, and then knowing that every defaulter comes with a punishment. So Operation Keep Port Harcourt Clean is all about RIWAMA conscientizing the people of the state. It's all about RIWAMA conscientizing by showing with examples on how to keep a place clean. It's all about RIWAMA deploying everything that we have within our arsenals to ensure that the state is clean.
But, from your own estimation, would you say currently, the Port Harcourt Metropolis is clean? Would you say that? Because you want to conscientize, you want to educate, you want to, what's the other word now? You want Rivers people to know that they have this responsibility. But currently, do they keep the city clean? Are they doing well in terms of, keeping Port Harcourt Metropolis clean?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kala. I will explain this in three facets. Okay. One, RIWAMA. RIWAMA, since we assumed office, I think we've been doing the best we can to ensure that the city is clean. And I can beat my chest to say that the agency is at its best. It's at its best. It has never been like this. You can make your findings. Then, at the other hand, is the service providers. The service providers are those contractors that are contractually enabled to pick and evacuate all the waste in the state. I can also tell you for sure that these contractors are doing the best because they have somebody that has made them all to be on their toes. So the contractors, the service providers, they are doing their best, irrespective of the challenges of equipment failure, the challenges of the rainy season. I can say that they're doing their best. Then the citizens. The citizens, I think, are still falling below past mark. Because majority of the citizens have not come to that consciousness that the environment needs to be clean. Some people probably might clean their own immediate surrounding, but how they dispose the waste become a problem. If you clean your environment and then you indiscriminately dispose same waste, you are not solving any problem. You just ended up creating another problem by virtue of trying to solve a problem. Then, are they also obeying the time allowable for disposing of waste? The time allowable for disposing of waste is between the hours of 6 p.m. in the evening to 10 p.m. in the night. So, if you dispose anything other than this time, you are giving us punishment. I will explain. The punishment is that The service providers have an allowable time from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning to evacuate this waste and send them to the dump site. Now, if they are done doing their job and you go and dump a waste, what have you done? You have created a problem. But generally, I will tell you without mincing words that I can beat my chest to say that Port Harcourt is above 80% moving to the trajectory of cleanliness.
Okay, now let's marry. You looked at it from three facets. Let's marry the first and the third. You looked at it from the perspective of RIWAMA, and you also looked at it from the perspective of the citizens. You said RIWAMA is at its best. What are the statistics? What yardstick are you using to measure RIWAMA at its best?
If I say RIWAMA is at its best, number one, prompt payment of the service providers were up. We're doing that. They can attest to that. Secondly, RIWAMA has serviced all our equipment, the roll-off equipment, the waste compactor equipment. We have serviced them and we have deployed them to duty. RIWAMA, in fact, for over 5 years, this is when the tow van has been deployed to duty. RIWAMA has engaged the communities. In fact, I even didn't tell you this. The operation Keep Port Harcourt Clean has also made us to look at involving the communities, the locals, into the enforcement process of the operation Keep Port Harcourt Clean. So we have involved the locals who move from community to community, and we have what we call our task force within the communities. This task force is not just there to apprehend people. No, they are also there to conscientize, educate, and guide people on when to deploy to dispose their waste, where to dispose their waste. So we have done sufficiently well in educating the people. We have done sufficiently well in evacuating the waste as at when due. We have done sufficiently well in showing examples. If you are aware, all the flyovers used to be very, very dirty prior to this time. But I can bet you, go to the flyovers, we have done excellently well in those flyovers.
All right. So now this is why I wanted to marry. Now you have given me statistics, but if you say you have done all of these things, how effective are they? Because if they were really effective, would we be seeing Nigerians acting the way, or Rivers people acting the way they do? Because you said they're not there yet.
Let me quickly just take you to the issue of crime. We have police stations everywhere. We have police officers situated everywhere. How come there's crime?
Okay.
This is a problem.
Okay.
We are at our best, but yet the people remain the people. That is why we want to send back this issue of waste management or cleanliness, environmental cleanliness, into the minds of the people. We need to bring the people to that consciousness of knowing that the environment must be clean.
But the question I'm asking is, could it be a problem of strategy now? Yes, your strategy may be working, but could it be better? That's the question. Because, once again, Calabar is the reference point. What did they do under Donald Duke that made everybody seemingly comply and say, oh, okay, we want Calabar to be clean. We want, the capital of Cross River to be as neat and, a tourist attraction for people. I don't know if you get... Now, yes, you're at your best, but is it effective? Is the strategy something we can better? That's a question in my head.
I will tell you that our strategy is up and running. Okay. Our strategy is at its best.
Interesting.
But again, it's a matter of time. The Calabar you are mentioning here, it didn't just start today. If you can attest, Port Harcourt is better than it used to be.
Yeah.
It's better than it used to be. Meaning that we can get it to its best. All we need to do is to ensure that we carry the citizens along. Make the citizens to come into terms with the fact that the place needs to be clean. The enforcement teams are there. But again, I have to use this opportunity to call on the media. The media is not doing enough.
Really?
The media is only more interested in attacking RIWAMA whenever there are complaints. But the media is not deploying the same energy in educating the people and cautioning the people. So if we work in synergy, if there is this collaboration, if there is this dedicated effort from the media. I'm not just talking about Nigeria.
No, I was going to.
I'm talking about all the media houses. If there is this deliberate effort injected into the system in ensuring that the place is clean, I assure you that the place will definitely be better than the Calabar that you're talking about.
All right, so the media has got a role. Because I was going to say, I mean, in the past 3 months, I should have talked about waste management like, 4 or 5 times? You have been on the show also via the phone on publications. I do think maybe we are trying.
You're doing based on our paid...
No. I've had conversations outside of paid shows.
Tell me, Kalada.
Kalada it is. Kalada Kuru.
Tell me, how many of the jingles are you running on free?
Okay, should I play one for you?
I mean, you are running free of charge, not that we are paying for it.
I can play one for you.
Play.
A clean surrounding is a collective effort.
Diseases could be avoided
with good hygiene practice. Be more responsible with how you dispose waste products. The environment will be better looking without litter and exposed garbage. We love our city clean. This message is from 92.3 Nigeria Info.
I just showed you the facts now.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But I pray that you run it as often as possible.
Often as
and
possible.
Then you also, I use this opportunity to call on other radio stations, including television stations, to borrow a leaf from you and follow suit.
All right, now let's still talk about, because you mentioned the flyovers, how it used to be dirty and all. There's something I've noticed from over the years, public defecation around flyovers. If you go to Rumokoro, not just flyovers, by the way, some streets, some major roads, open defecation or urination. Does that not fall under the responsibility of RIWAMA? I'm wondering.
When you say it falls under the responsibility of RIWAMA, I cannot catch it. But
okay, let me put it this way. So you've said you have somehow brought the communities in, you've involved them in keeping the environment, clean and sanitized. And, you have a task force. You said so. I'm wondering if this is part of the responsibility.
Yeah, good.
That
It's exactly one of the major things that made us deploy the task force to the flyovers, because the level of public defecation on those flyovers is getting out of hand. And I can assure you that it's not as it used to be. And in less than a distant time, it will come to an abrupt stop. As a person, I go around in the night, irrespective of the fact that I have a big strength of task force. I go around myself to monitor the compliance of these things. So in less than no time, it will be a thing of the past. People will not defecate in public places.
Are you going to provide public toilets?
We will not provide public toilets.
So how are they?
That is not our responsibility. I don't want to dwell on whose responsibility it is. But what we are saying is that for you to live in Port Harcourt, where you should be living should have...
Can I please pause you? We do have a commercial. I'm really sorry. When we come back, we'll come back to the public toilet conversation.
The show continues.
Salab University, Lokoja, Kogi.
Thank you for staying tuned to Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. It's the bottom of the hour. And yes, we are talking waste management in Harcourt Metropolis. And with me in the studio to have the conversation is the sole administrator, Rivers State Waste Management Agency. I'm talking Honorable Prince Ohia. It's good to have you once again. Welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Just before the commercial, we're talking about public defecation and urination along the road, street corners, flyovers, and all of that. And you were saying that it's not the responsibility of RIWAMA to provide public toilets or where people can express themselves in that manner. But you would not tell us whose responsibility it is. But then, how do you intend to stop it? Because it's only natural that people would want to, defecate or urinate as the day goes on.
Yeah, it's natural. It's a natural call. Mm-hmm. But then, as it were, it's not the responsibility of RIWAMA to provide public defecation spots and places. The only thing we want to do is to curb the issue of defecating and urinating under the flyovers and under very public places. But with time, it is something that is doable, but then it has to come with a budget until such a time when it is enshrined in the budget, and then we can implement that. But for now, what we know is that we want to see how we can stop people from getting under the flyovers.
All right. The task force, this community task force, so to say, does it also have the responsibility of stopping people? Yes, there's going to be the sensitization part, you've told us, but there's also going to be the punishment part, you've said. Are people going to be punished for throwing particles on the road? So used items, it could be a can, it could be a wrap, it could be whatever it is that, some just after eating the banana, for instance, they throw the peels on the road. Are people going to be arrested for that?
Yes, definitely people will be arrested for indiscriminate dumping. Call it throwing of banana peels, throwing of chewing gum wrappers or whatever. The law is there, and the law does not have mercy on anyone. The eyes of the law is looking at everybody. There are provisions in the law. There are punishments provided in the extant law of the land that is governing the Rivers State Waste Management Agency. So, for any punishment, the community task force will arrest you and hand you over to Rivers State Waste Management Agency. And of course, you know that in the agency, we have police stations situated there, and we also have a mobile court. The mobile court sits every Thursday of the week. Tomorrow, the mobile court is sitting. We already have a lot of persons that have been arrested, and they are going to face the law tomorrow.
What is the guarantee that the task force will not be an avenue? We've seen several task forces in Rivers State over the years, We want to go as far back as Amechi's time as governor, where there was, something like Timarive, and after a while, the people started crying and saying Timarive is not working for the people anymore. Then we saw tax forces under some Wike's administration, and of course we had the several stories. At some point, they had to ban the tax force responsible for illegal parking of vehicles and reconstitute it, and still there were complaints. So what is the guarantee that a tax force will not be used against the will of the people?
Okay, thank you very much. If you look at me, you can see that I'm very young, energetic, and most importantly, I'm very mobile. Okay. Meaning that I work around the clock. I have what it takes to monitor the tax force. I am doing that already. I am not unaware of the eminent SSCs of the tax force if they are allowed to operate without caution. So I know what to do, and I'm monitoring them round the clock. I am very certain that the community tax force, including the RIWAMA tax force, none can go that route. Can go that direction because we have our eyes watching all over them. Let me quickly tell you, Dakoru, several cases have come to my table, cases of harassment or extortion from tax force. And when I go into details in those issues, I discover that they were just mere fallacies. And most times, the people come to apologize that, look, actually, we are culpable. So I will tell you for sure that with the energy in me, I have what it takes to monitor the tax force and curb their excesses.
All right. I have so many other questions. I don't know, but I'm tempted to go to the phone lines now. But before I do, taxes. This tax force, are they supposed to take taxes? Because, we've seen several taxes in recent times. We've seen taxes from the local government. We've seen taxes from RISA. And I'm talking about sanitation taxes where they're made to buy buckets and what they are made to buy. I can't remember all of the items now. But are these tax force members, or is RIWAMA taking any tax on keeping the environment sanitized?
RIWAMA is directly funded by the state government.
Okay.
And by virtue of this, RIWAMA is not allowed for now to take any form of tax. So both RIWAMA and the tax force doesn't have what it takes to take or collect tax from anyone. The only people allowed in the state today to take tax on behalf of RIWAMA is the River State Board of Internal Revenue. And they are doing that. If you talk about baskets, the baskets are being sold by the tickets are being sold by the Board of Internal Revenue. But that is not to say that some local government will not take local government tax based on environmental sanitation, because the local governments, especially in Port Harcourt City and Obiakpo, are also in charge of cutting of grasses in public places. So you can't stop them. They have bylaws that enable them to take tax from the citizens. All right.
Okay, so now let's come to waste to wealth. Recently the River State government signed, the MOU with a company, a private company, and changing waste into wealth. Can you expatiate on that for a bit for us?
Okay. When we came on board, I assured the people of the state that we are going to consolidate on the old order. I looked at it, an old order and a new order. The old order is the process of collection of waste from houses or from receptacles, and then evacuating this waste to the dump site where they are used for landfilling, though this is not engineering landfilling. But I said that it will come to a time when we'll have a new order, and that new order will be how to make wealth out of the waste that we collect from the city. And for the old order, I am very certain, I make bold to say that we have consolidated so very well, because we have a very good working system between the agency, the community people, and the service providers, including the private service providers. So that is the old order. Now, the new order that we want to transform same waste into wealth is where we just signed an MOU with Omene Holdings. Omene Holdings, with our partners, are injecting a total of 300 million United States dollars into the state. And the essence is for a direct foreign investment that will transform our waste to electricity.
Electricity?
Yes. And we have in our dream, in the jacket, to generate up to 200 megawatts of electricity. That's huge. So the state government has just signed an agreement with them, and that agreement is encapsulated in such a manner that the state government is not committing any funds to that project. Okay.
No, sorry to cut you short. You're saying it's going to change waste to electricity. How long is this project going to be for before Rivers people begin to enjoy it?
I cannot say for sure, but within now and maybe the next 4 months, we should be able to come up with the project model and the schedule. It's when we come up with this that we can comfortably say that this is it. But for now, we have provided the land. They have come, they've seen the land. It's okay by them. They want to go and prepare the project implementation schedule. So when they are done with this, they can present it to us and we can make it public to Rivers people. But I will assure you that if this comes to limelight, definitely Rivers people will be looking for how to import waste to the place, because the waste generated within the states will not be fished.
I'm not asking that people directly their waste.
Yes, no, we will move through towards that direction. We will still wait and hand over to them. Because view of the memorandum of understanding, the government committed to hand over to them.
Okay.
Hand over land to them, then secure them.
Metropolis what the government intent of new cities. So at some point we call it data about hat. I don't know what name it has now. It is also to expand its reach standpoint. The area places like maybe more, I don't know. With the ring road, when more cities pop up, are you going to expand it as well?
The comment one more option approved to some of the nearby government. I will you that even with transfer can to oversee what is nearby governments, like local government, like MA local government, Oyibo local government, want to cite what they are doing, because these are the entrance cities. These are the entrance local government into the main city of Port Harcourt. So we are overseeing, monitoring, and also offering advice to this local government headship on how to manage their waste, so they don't create a problem that will cause a negative vision in the minds of the people about the city of Port Harcourt. All
right, so messages have popped in. I know I've not called the number yet, but I have a few messages. And this one is from Livinus Njoku, who is in HA. It says, question to your guest, why is it that RIWAMA is concentrating its operations only in Obiakpo and Port Harcourt local government areas, abandoning developing areas such as Igboiche, Oyibo, Elele, Awada? I think you just answered a bit of it, but I don't know if you still want to.
Yeah, it's just a little patience. Just like I said, immediately we kick off this waste to wealth, we will have our eyes on those local government. For now, it's a matter of fund and budget.
I miss those Saturdays when there was no movement until 10 a.m., when everyone was made to come out of their houses to clean up their surroundings. Port Harcourt City looked a lot cleaner. Can we go back to having one day in the month set aside for environmental sanitation, please? Beauty in Port Harcourt is asking.
Okay, Beauty. Yes, it is good to go back to the monthly sanitation days. It is doable, it is apt, but then that remains a decision of the governor of the state. But why not you also see it from my own direction, a situation where we make environmental sanitation a thing of mind, a situation where we incorporate you on environmental sanitation, where you have this consciousness that every day is environmental sanitation.
All right, interesting there. This one says, please, can this cleaning start from our markets? Just come to Element Market or Oil Mill Market. Honestly, you may not want to eat the tomatoes or any food items they sell there. Please come to their aid. You see people urinating in the market. It is really an eyesore. Madam T from Port Harcourt.
Madam T is as if you know what RIWAMA is doing. RIWAMA has already set up a special task force in almost all the markets, especially the oil mill market. And we are working with, it was just yesterday I came to know that we have about 15 markets in that oil mill market.
Interesting.
So we are meeting with the market leadership by tomorrow, and at the end of that meeting, we will set up a special task force, and this special task force will compel the people to do the needful.
All right, this one says, good afternoon, Mr. Canada, Mr. Ohia. I have repeatedly heard from various school administrators and their media aides that RIWAMA is solely responsible for waste management in Port Harcourt and Obiakpo, while the LGA chairman of other 21 LGAs should cater for the waste generated in their LGAs. What is the reason a state agency is focusing on only 2 LGAs or has that changed under Mr. Ohia? If it has, let him mention the receptacles in Oigbo, or tell us the number of contractors they have in Oigbo and their names, if possible. Text from Oigbo.
No.
Still body on scope of RIWAMA.
You know the funny thing. The funny thing is asking if it started with Mr. Ohia.
No, he said he did not start with you. He said before and during. That's what he said.
No, the last aspect, he said, I don't know if this started with Mr. Ohia.
No, he said if this has changed with Mr. Ohia under your administration, if it has changed.
Okay, please. The most important thing about this is funding. And if you look at law, actually the local government should handle anything that has to do with waste management. But with the River State Waste Management Law 2014 coming on board, it now behooves on the River State Waste Management Agency to take over anything that has to do with policy making, policy implementation, and enforcement on anything that has to do with waste.
All right.
By view of this, you should also know that it comes with funding. And the first target is to look at the capital city. And you can agree with me that the capital city is Port Harcourt City. And Obiakpo and Port Harcourt are intertwined.
No. Yeah.
So you cannot really differentiate between Obiakpo and Port Harcourt City. That is why every state government has taken it as a responsibility to fund the waste evacuation and waste management in this local government. Why the policies that are made by RIWAMA extend to every other local government. So it's for us to lend our voices and also activate our searchlights on the local government chairman so that they can do the needful and ensure that the other states' local governments are as clean as Port Harcourt City and Obiakpo. Yeah. And we are doing this already. Okay.
One more message before we go to the phone lines. This is, why do you urge those who collect refuse from our homes, saying that some of us may not find it comfortable to go to your receptacles, which are far from our homes? I don't understand the message, but I guess you would understand the message.
I think I understand where the person is heading to. Talking about why are we arresting the cartels, the cartels and scavengers. Okay. Let me it's just asking why is that park doctors are being arrested. We have people we call private service providers. And first meeting with some settlements, some communities. We private service providers. People can do to pick their waste instead of being to car pushers, collect from their houses. They end up dumping it indiscriminately at the time that is not allowable by our policy. So this is why we arrest those who are their clients. The essence is, if you must engage the services of anybody to evacuate your waste, why not do that in compliance with our policies and the law?
All right.
Employ the services of a private service provider that is registered with the agency, who knows the time to collect waste and the time to evacuate it and where to dump it.
All right. Okay, now let's go to the phone lines. We've got, less than 5 minutes. 0817-923-0002 is the first call number, and the school number is 0817-923-00. I'd like to get your opinion. What do you think? What do you think is your ability to operation, keep it clean? What is your responsibility for the administrator who is being this year? Ken from Umini is welcome. Welcome on the show. What's on your mind, is it Ken?
Good afternoon, Kalada.
Yes, is it Ken? Quickly, please.
And greetings to your guest here in the studio.
All right.
Kalada, I have a question for your guest. I believe he is there in the studio because of the RIWAMA being the chairman in the state. He is not there as a Fawama.
What's your point? What's your point? I don't have time, is it Ken?
I am talking about the River State. Here in Ohio local government, especially Umini, precisely. I think they should extend their exercise, their orientation, their awareness of cleanliness to the rural areas, especially the issue of public or open defecation. It is something else in the rural areas. The areas are bushy. Even if the community leaders, the chiefs and the elders, the youth and the CDC groups are trying to make the area to be neat. But let there be a kind of threat from the government sure they will know that whatever thing the community leadership are embarking on, they will know that there is a place or there is an information given to them to be in charge.
All right, Ezekiel, thank you very much. I've got to go.
On Saga, Obiapo,
Okay.
Saga, Obiapo.
Your point is noted. I've got to let you go. Jude from Omuma, welcome. What is on your mind?
Yeah, but mine is just a suggestion. The monthly sanitation that was practiced in the past should not be reintroduced because it did not make the city cleaner. Rather, it made the city dirtier. When we use one day in a month to clean up all the rubbishes, put them in a particular place, it took days, months for them to be evacuated. And the city was littered with dirt. So it should not be reintroduced.
All right.
It made the city dirty and not cleaner.
All right.
Anybody can attest to that.
All right. All right. Thank you, Jude. You've had the two contributors, but we're out of time. So I would like, I don't know, you want to respond to them?
Yeah. For Ken, I've heard you. I will talk to my friend, the local government chairman, Honorable Omeriji. I will advise him on the issue from Ubimini. And for Jude, thank you for that. I think you are in the same boat with me.
Any other thoughts you would like to share with Rivers people?
Oh, the only thing I would need to share with Rivers people is, please, I would want a situation where environmental sanitation would be a daily thing in the minds of the people of Rivers State. I would want the people to know that within the hours of 6 p.m. in the evening to 10 p.m. in the night, they are allowed to bring their waste, evacuate their waste to receptacles. Receptacles are places that are earmarked, that are designated for dumping of refuse. I would want the citizens to know that dumping of refuse at the median or any other place that is not a receptacle is already an affront in the eyes of our policy and the law.
All right.
So I would want the people of Rivers State to wake up to the challenge, to wake up to this issue of Operation Keep Port Harcourt Clean.
I would have to pause you a commercial now.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.